What is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nouman and today's analysis video is going to be about the FA Cup game between Chelsea and Manchester City. So Chelsea lined up in a 3-4-3 formation on paper, but their formation on the ground was mostly 3-5-2, with Mason Mount playing in behind Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech. While Manchester City on the other hand lined up in a 4-2-3-1 formation on the ground, which mostly changed to 2-3-5 with possession. So Man City decided to aggressively press Chelsea high up the ground during the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, to force Chelsea into making mistakes and win possession in Chelsea's defensive third. Front three on the three Chelsea centre-backs. Kevin De Bruyne is covering Jorginho, while Raheem Sterling is providing cover shadow to N'Golo Kante. Reece James is being pressed by Benjamin Mendy, and thus Azpilicueta's nearby passing options are tightly blocked. Again, front three on the three Chelsea centre-backs, and blocking all the nearby passing options to force Chelsea into making a mistake, and N'Golo Kante under pressure fires the ball out of play. But we know that teams cannot continue this aggressive style of pressing for the entirety of 90 minutes. And this is why Manchester City decided to drop off a bit after the first 5 to 10 minutes. So after the first few minutes, Manchester City settled in a 4-2-3-1 formation, and this is when Chelsea started to take control of the game. The front three of Manchester City were trying to cover the three Chelsea centre-backs, and that often left De Bruyne in a 1v2 position against N'Golo Kante and Jorginho, which gave Chelsea the chance to easily play the ball through the middle. And whenever one of the wide wingers of Manchester City dropped in the midfield to help De Bruyne against the overload, it gave Chelsea the chance to easily play the ball to one of their wingbacks to build the play. And whenever the Man City fullbacks moved up to press the Chelsea wingbacks, they left the spaces open in the wide areas for the runs of Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech, as Thomas Tuchel decided to go with the front two to attack those wide spaces that Manchester City's attacking fullbacks often leave behind. Manchester City now dropping off, and they are now trying to settle in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Raheem Sterling is pressing Azpilicueta, with Gabriel Jesus trying to cover Thiago Silva, and De Bruyne is now left in a 1v2 position against N'Golo Kante and Jorginho, as Azpilicueta easily picks a central passing option. Because of the 1v2 position, De Bruyne could not fully press N'Golo Kante or Jorginho, and that gave the two Chelsea midfielders the time and space to receive the ball and turn with the ball to make the play for Chelsea. This time Torres drops in the midfield to help De Bruyne against the overload, and that leaves Ben Chilwell totally free on the wide area. Cancelo steps out to cover Ben Chilwell, and Mason Mount immediately tries to attack the space that was left open by Cancelo. Chelsea, on the other hand, did not try to press Manchester City, and they instead decided to create a strong central overload to make it difficult for Manchester City to play through the middle. Chelsea without the ball mostly had a 5-3-2 formation, as they tried to sandwich the double pivot of Manchester City to break the link between Manchester City's defense and offense. Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante were pressing Rodrigo and Fernandinho, while Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner were trying to cut the passing lanes to Rodrigo and Fernandinho from the front. Jorginho was playing in between the lines as he was trying to keep track of De Bruyne's runs. N'Golo Kante and Mason Mount are trying to press the double pivot of Manchester City, while Ziyech and Werner are trying to cut the passing lanes from the front. Jorginho is playing in between the lines to look for De Bruyne's runs. Strong central overload of Chelsea to cut Manchester City's central penetration. Here we can see Chelsea's tight man marking on Man City's midfield to block Manchester City's central penetration. Jorginho closely follows De Bruyne, and Rudiger easily wins the ball. And this brings us to Kevin De Bruyne, who is the main creative force of Manchester City. De Bruyne could not do much in this game, thanks to the tight man marking of Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel had given special instructions to his players to tightly cover De Bruyne and not give him any time or space on the ball. Depending upon the zone in which De Bruyne was operating, the Chelsea player of that zone was responsible for covering Kevin De Bruyne to ensure that he doesn't get any time or space on the ball. This time, De Bruyne was able to free himself from the marking of Jorginho, but Rudiger immediately leaves his line to ensure that De Bruyne doesn't get any time or space on the ball. Antonio Rudiger leaves his line to cover Kevin De Bruyne, and De Bruyne, under pressure, fires the ball out of play. Kevin De Bruyne once again moves away from Jorginho to find some space in between the lines. But this time Azpilicueta immediately leaves his line to deny any time or space to Kevin De Bruyne. Since the Man City midfielders were tightly covered by the strong central overload of Chelsea, so as the game progressed, Raheem Sterling started dropping deep to create an overload against the Chelsea midfield and to open the passing lanes for Manchester City to build their play. Since Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech were mainly looking to cut the passing lanes to Rodrigo and Fernandinho, so Raheem Sterling was often able to drop in the midfield to directly receive the ball from his centre-backs. And N'Golo Kante was busy pressing Rodrigo, while Jorginho was often looking to track the runs of Kevin De Bruyne, so Raheem Sterling was easily able to receive the ball from his centre-backs with time and space. We know that Manchester City like to play with a high defensive line, and this is what Chelsea mainly tried to exploit in this game. Timo Werner was constantly looking to make runs behind the high line of Manchester City, and most of the times, the Chelsea players actually failed to pick his runs. Timo Werner drops deep, he drags Laporte out of his line, and he immediately tries to attack the space that was left open by Laporte. And all he needed was a pass over the top from Azpilicueta, which never came. Timo Werner had a clear speed advantage against the Manchester City centre-backs, but the Chelsea players often failed to recognize Werner's runs. And whenever Chelsea were able to pick his runs, he was able to hit Manchester City using his electric pace. These long passes behind the line created some real issues for Manchester City, and Chelsea were unlucky not to score more than one goal. Thomas Tuchel has completely transformed his Chelsea team, and Chelsea's record in the big games is now looking really impressive since they took charge of the club. Chelsea will now either face Leicester City or Southampton in the final of this year's FA Cup. So do you think Chelsea can win the FA Cup this season? Comment below and let me know. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.